my God, I've got brain damage, and that's it, okay? The damage that is caused to the brain because of abuse can be reversed. So I want to alleviate all of that for you right now, and know that what I'm about to share is what happens, but everything can be reversed here for you as well. And in fact, when I say reversed, you can go on and lead an even better life because of what you have been through as well. But I understand there's many things that come up for us when we're in that abusive relationship. And this can come from childhood to adulthood, to being with a narcissist, to even other forms of abuse as well from childhood. So what exactly does happen within our brain? Well, the first thing I want to say is, I want you to know that your brain, your mind, your body is geared up with so much love for you that at every step of the way, it just wants to keep you alive. It wants to keep you safe, and it wants to move you away from pain. Now, when I say move you away from pain, it's moving you away from the biggest perceived pain you have based on your past experiences and how you have interpreted those. And the reason why I explain that is because many of you will probably think, my God, Caroline, I'm in pain right now. Surely this is a less pain than something else. Yes, it is. Your system thinks it is less pain than something else. But I want you to get curious about, well, what is this something else that my system thinks would be even more painful? Okay, because this is how our system works. So many of you, and I get many messages about this, start to feel forgetful, brain fog, jittery. There just seems to be so much going on in your system. And I want to talk to you about what exactly does happen in the brain then when we're in that abusive relationship. So we have the front part of our brain, which is called the prefrontal cortex, and that is our logical and rational part of the brain. Then we have what's called our limbic system. Now, our limbic system is known as our emotional brain. So when we're reacting to things, okay, that is our emotional part of the brain. We've moved away from rational and being logical, and I'm sure you can relate to this, because how many times have you suddenly been in this situation where you have behaved in a certain way, and then a few hours later thinking, oh my gosh, what happened then? I can relate to that without a shadow of a doubt, where I've thought, my goodness, that's when you've moved from online, I call it online, front part of the brain, more logical and rational, to offline, where it's kind of like so activated, the nervous system has gone into fight, flight, and freeze, and we are reacting in the moment. And we're reacting in the moment, not necessarily because of the reality of the moment, although if we were being attacked or something like that, absolutely, it's going to take over, completely involuntary. But very often we are actually safe, but our system is still going into a fight, flight, and freeze. We've got into that limbic system because it's reminding us of all past events that haven't finished being processed. So the structures that we have in our limbic system is the hippocampus and the amygdala. Now, the hippocampus is our long-term memory center, and the amygdala is really like our fear center. It's like this radar that is surveying everything in our world, sort of thinking, okay, we need to go into fight, flight, or freeze? Do I need to send a message to the nervous system for us to react because it's danger, 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 or even life-threatening? So it's kind of this radar for us, brilliant radar. And then the hippocampus, as things are happening to us, the hippocampus will start to timestamp things. Oh, yeah, that's the past. Yeah, that's the past now, and really file it away. So we now then can remember events as opposed to reliving them. Now, what happens when we've been in an abusive relationship, and many people end up having something called complex post-traumatic stress disorder, where information has been stuck and we're kind of reliving. It feels like we're in this hamster wheel, feeling the same things all of the time. This is because we have a stuck younger part of us in our system that is really running the show for us. But to protect us, remember, everything is about protection, keeping us safe, the hippocampus starts to shrink and the amygdala starts to increase in size. So as the hippocampus shrinks, many times that can bring up things like brain fog, forgetfulness. I mean, how many of you feel like you can't remember stuff? Maybe stuff from your childhood. Maybe people have told you stuff have happened. You just can't remember. Now, that's not because you just can't remember. I mean, we can't remember everything about our childhood. I get that. But there could be certain key things that you just can't remember. It's almost like they're blocked out. If you're someone who has found yourself saying, it's like I've blocked it out, then the likelihood is your hippocampus has shrunk. So as the hippocampus shrinks to protect you, remember it's all about protection, we get that forgetfulness, we get the brain fog, we forget things and we can't remember things that have happened. Conversely, the amygdala that increases in size almost becomes like this hyper vigilant radar that we have, so that then anything that happens, it's like danger, danger, danger. It's become so acutely sensitive almost to that. It's so trying to keep you safe. Even you dropping your keys sometimes, it's like, and you go into this reaction about it. Oh, I'm so stupid. And it comes up. So the amygdala becomes this hyper vigilant radar for you, whilst also the hippocampus shrinks and you become forgetful. That brain fog starts to occur, all the while because your system is trying to protect you. So what can we do about it? How can we reverse all of that? Well, we can reverse all of that by getting your system to know that you are now safe. So when we talk about things like grounding, meditation, mindfulness, that is all about you right now being in the present. Because hopefully right now, here, this second, as you're listening to this, you are actually safe. There could be lots of challenges going on, but you're actually safe. And by being safe, if our system knows that, it can really help calm our nervous system. And it means we don't need to react in a fight, flight, or freeze. If we do think we are in danger, even though we're not, where's that come from? Well, that has come from our interpretation of past events, created what I call these self-worthiness wounds, which means our system is all about protecting us from feeling those self-worthiness wounds, because our system thinks that's the most pain we've ever felt. Never want you to feel like that. So it's going to try and distract and soothe you away from that. It's going to try and protect you from feeling that. And that's what happens. So in order for us to kind of reverse that damage that has happened in our brain, then we need to go back. We need to work on ourselves. So when we talk about narcissistic abuse and trauma, healing what's gone on in our brain is not about changing the narcissist behavior, because the narcissist actually isn't the cause of why you feel the way that you do. It's what you're saying about the narcissist behavior causing the way you feel at this particular point. So if you're feeling, oh, they're behaving like this because I'm not good enough, then your hippocampus is shrunk, the amygdala's up, but that's come from perception of your past wounds, your childhood, and this doesn't mean just people who've had a really abusive, neglectful childhood. This could be your parents got a divorce. This might be you were bullied at school. It might just be perception of certain events that's created a wound that your system in that moment thought, this is too painful to feel. So it becomes all encompassing not to feel like that. The narcissist is really scratching at the scab of all of that, making it bleed. And that's why you're feeling the way that you do. And in order to protect yourself because of that, the hippocampus shrinks, gives you a bit of brain fog so you can't remember stuff. The amygdala's there just to keep you safe. And whilst you may think, my goodness, I don't want to live my life like this, your system still thinks it's better, less painful, safer like this than not. So you've got to get curious about this. And when we work on those deep inner wounds, then those self-worthiness wounds, all of a sudden then the narcissist behavior no longer becomes about you. You can see they are projecting their own pain onto you. So it's not because of you or a reflection of you. This is because of them, as it always has been. But you don't just know that then, you feel it. And certainly in my narcissistic trauma recovery program, this is really what we work on. We really work on understanding our system, and then we really work on healing and processing those self-worthiness wounds to really start to get those physiological changes that happen in the brain starting to shift back, so that we do start to remember stuff that our system now thinks it's okay and safe enough for us to remember, but not relive. And also our amygdala can kind of calm down a bit. So it's not like every single thing is like danger, danger, danger all of the time and just trying to keep you safe. So I hope that really helps explain why you feel the way that you do, what's going on in the brain and why, and really for you to start to embrace and love your own system, because it is working hard to protect you. And always ask that question of yourself. If my system thinks where I am right now is less painful than something else, why is that? Get curious. Start to understand your system. because it is just filled with love. It just wants to keep you safe, keep you alive, move you away from pain. So if where you are, that's where your system thinks is the best for you, and you know cognitively it isn't, then there's a stuck younger part of you that needs to be worked on. And this is in your power, not the narcissist. This is in your power to heal, so that then narcissist doesn't change, but your responses to the narcissist then change.